UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has arrived in Pakistan and called for help to support the country's response to the catastrophic flooding. Rescue and relief efforts continue. Pakistan's armed forces are racing to get stranded people out of flooded areas and into relief camps. While water levels are starting to recede, many districts remain underwater. Thousands are taking shelter at roadsides on higher ground. The floods have affected some 33 million people and caused more than 1,000 deaths. Well, joining us now from Islamabad is Adil Sheraz, that's Pakistan's country director for the aid organization CARE. Thanks for being with us. The UN Secretary General is visiting Pakistan today. He's already appealed to the world for help in dealing with the aftermath of the floods. What does Pakistan need most urgently right now?
You know, it is still the initial days of the emergency, and our teams are in the field and they are looking at the needs on ground. At this stage, food is one of the major needs which is required because more and more people are affected and they have lost everything. So there will be a regular need of food for a couple of more weeks. Shelter is another major need. And then waterborne diseases are increasing, so medical assistance required at different affected population area in terms of treating cholera, malaria, skin diseases, and other things. So that's another essential area. Sanitation facilities are also required because people have been displaced and they don't have the infrastructure which they had before. And then clean drinking water. So these are the top most essential needs at this stage.
Okay. Now, aid is coming in to some degree from abroad, but it's Pakistan's government that has to deal with this emergency directly. How is the government coping?
Government have been providing a very good support to the affected population, but we also need to understand that it's a massive flooding. There's a large population which is affected. And as I shared earlier, that there are things which are required one time, maybe like shelter and other things, but then food supplies are required on a regular basis. So that requires a lot of support, not only internally from the government, but also from the international actors. The government is also playing a very key role in terms of providing cash assistance to the affected families through an income support program, which already exists in the country. But as an aid worker and for the international community, they also need to understand that it's a massive flood, and we are talking about more than 6 million people who need urgent support.
How difficult is it, Adil, for an aid organization like yours to help the people who need it? How difficult is it to reach the people under these conditions?
There are still some areas which are underwater, and the water will remain there for a couple of more weeks. But then when we have visited different parts of Sindh province and Balochistan province, people have also moved from the affected area to the nearby roadside areas. So at least those people who are living nearby the road, those people are accessible. But there are still some affected communities who are living in their villages, which are still flooded with the water. So it's slightly challenging to reach out to them. But at the same time, some of the key departments from the government are also helping out to reach out to them, either through their direct support or through the other aid organization support. And since the government infrastructure is large, so that is helping out to reaching out to the affected community. But we also need to understand with bridges and roads were washed away. So the rebuilding work is continuing. And with that, I think each day is a better day than before in terms of accessing people.
Huge challenges still lie ahead. Adil Sheraz, the country director of CARE Pakistan, thank you so much.
Thank you.